Hey everyone, so we are back here today talking about Surge bucket milkers. Surge bucket milkers were made by the Babson Brothers Company years and years ago. I can give you a little history about it. But I wanted to show you some differences in the actual milking lids and pulsators so that you know the difference. A key thing to know is that a C and an S model are what you're going to be looking at, and occasionally I have come across a Surge pulsator that has a P in the beginning. And I have not been able to find any information on that, but I've got a handful of those. So they do say Surge on the top. What I wanted to share with you is your lids. This little notch here indicates an S lid, and it's also got a shorter stem or neck that the pulsator itself sits on. And then this is a C lid. Each lid takes your little pulsating pin here that fits in either one, and a rebuild kit sometimes will come with a newer version of this. This version has a little nut on top that holds the new rubber on it, and a rebuild kit for a pulsator does come with this and with the gasket. Whichever lid you're rebuilding, it's the same rebuild kit. I have the Coburn pulsator kit, and then additionally I always pick up a pulsator oil. This will last a long time. This is what comes in the kits. You get a set of 4 leathers, and that sits on a cylinder that pistons back and forth. These paper gaskets on the side, and then you've got these tins, a replacement cap, and an O-ring for the lid comes also. They also provide a gasket. I don't have one out. For your speed adjustment screw, and that's this little one also. They're a neat little kit. I also have Maze, I believe, makes one, M-A-E-S, and then I have another one, I think that was Osborne. They're all interchangeable. Coburn's just a little more readily available and easy to get. So on the C lid, you're not going to have a circle, you're going to have this little bar at the top. So you can see that. But everything here is just the same. Sometimes they'll be slightly different shaped where your pulsator tubes go on, and a lot of people won't use the pulsator tube with it. They'll just buy tubing so that they can have the bucket milker a distance away from the cow or the goat. If you are milking goats, just know that it's 2 teats and not 4, and you'll have to have a shutoff valve. These little green deals here are a shutoff valve so that you can put a line to it, to the pulsator, and just turn it to the off section. So these are old style S lids. Now you can see they all say Surge and Babson Brothers. And this is an early style. The early style is a spring-loaded speed screw here. And then they improved it with this gasket here. And then instead of a spring, they have this set screw here so you can adjust it to where you want it. Initially looking at it, and you can see, you know, like there's the brass underneath here, and then they coated them. So another thing that varies on each individual ones, the end caps that hold the cylinders, sometimes they're grooved here on the bottom. The older ones, they weren't. You can see here, these are the C's. This one has a slight notch here, where these first S's didn't. And then on this C, it's notched. So you need a C pulsator with a C lid, and you need an S pulsator with an S lid. If you are going to upgrade to a more modern pulsator, you have to have a C lid. An individual lid by itself, like from Hanby Dairy Supply, is about $109 or $119. And I don't know if they give you the gasket. This is the lid gasket that comes with it. And you can use just about any tubing for your pulsator. So another difference between a S pulsator and a C pulsator is there's just this little pin right in here. and that's going to hold that on your lid. So see, it just sits on here. You have to line that up with this notch, so sideways, and then twist to put it on. Okay, now on a C pulsator, there's no little notch there, there's bars, and that's why it's shaped differently on the top of the lid. I will tell you to watch for two things on a bucket milker. This right here, the handle, sometimes has damage to it. See, like this one's got a very slight little crack in it. This one's been sanded or grinded on and welded back on with something. You can sometimes tell, sometimes if you can't tell from there, you can tell here. I have a couple different here. See how that lid, this has obviously been a repaired lid because of the marks there. And maybe it just had a crack and so then they touched it up. But see how that lid is open, the handle? On this one, they welded it back on. You can tell it's been welded. But they bent it so far over trying to straighten it out. And you want to make sure that your lid is not out of round. Otherwise, it's not going to get good suction or fit on the top of the pan. The milker bucket, exactly right. But always watch for that. So what I'm looking at today is a difference in the C pulsator is, you can see this one's shallow and this one is deep. I have not found a lid that is a C lid yet that fits the shallow C pulsator, and I don't know why. So I have been doing some research on that. If you know about that, let me know, because I try to learn everything about these that I possibly can. Some of the rebuild kits come with, like for the S's, internal pins and bushings that need to be changed out. And you can see like here, the screws are real rusty. You can clean these up really nice. I soak them in dish soap. I scrub them like crazy. You see here how this moves. It's moving freely. This one was just rebuilt. Also, see the lid style's a little different? This one, it opens from the rear. Well, it would be the front. This one opens from the back. See, and you don't get great access to it. So that hinge pin holds it on there while you're trying to work on it. And when you've got it taken apart, it's not in the way at all. But see this one? It's been sitting around and it's moving well. It could just need a cleanup job. If they're not moving back and forth, they need to be oiled. Let's see. This one moves much harder. The Colburn oil, you can just put a drop of oil right in here. And then on the other side, there's that leather round piece, and it goes back and forth. And if that's not oiled, you're not going to get good pulsation. Also, the oil lasts for about 40 hours of operation, so you want to keep track of that, and it's just a drop of oil each. There's some differences in the C and the S pulsators and lids for the Surge Babson Brothers milkers. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any information about that shallowness of this pulsator block, let me know. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.